am the Dadcrafter, and this is the Skyblock Challenge. This is episode number 8 in the series, and I have made an epic mistake. This is not the episode I was hoping that it would be, but it is the continuation of attempt number 5, and I'm going to show you where I messed up in this, my Skyblock world. Oh boy, let's start off here. Let's just take a look at where my island stands today. It's looking pretty good, but as always, there's room to make it bigger. So we're going to start off by mining some cobblestone, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to expand off the side of the island here because I've come to realize that I just don't have enough space once again. So we're going to go ahead here and we're going to make a complete line of slabs. We're going to remove this line of stone fences, and then we're going to go ahead and expand the entire island by another 10, 15 slabs off to the one side here. Want to have some space for a couple of new projects, some things that I was thinking might make the island even more exciting than it is today. Of course, we're going to light it up because we don't want mobs to spawn on this new expansion. And we'll go ahead and just add a couple more rows here. And, that's looking pretty good. Of course, it is raining, which is good because we want thunderstorms, but it's bad because in the rain, these Endermen tend to do all sorts of weird things, like hang out underneath my mob grinder because it doesn't rain on them there. But what they end up doing is stealing my dirt. And I don't want them to steal my dirt. Remember, we've talked about this. In the Skyblock Challenge, dirt is one of the most valuable resources that we have because we can't make more of it. There's some ways we can get it via the Wandering Trader, but so far he has been an absentee member of this series. So, Wandering Traders aside, we're going to go ahead here and just continue building out our island. But, as I continue to build things and collect resources, I need a place to put them. So we're going to start putting in an additional chest here. I have mined all sorts of cobblestone, so I need somewhere to put my cobblestone, my stone, and then, kind of any other building blocks. Because I'm thinking that in this challenge, I'd like to continue to do some things that are new and different. And one of those things is I'm going to try to build some things that don't involve stone or cobblestone, for that matter. So starting to kind of think through what other building blocks maybe I have at my disposal. And one of the things in my starter chest is cactus. And cactus will grow into additional cactus, and each one is kind of like a block. I mean, they're not the most perfect building blocks, but I'm going to go ahead and grow some of those. And in the meantime, I'm trying to get some zombies to drown, and I get attacked by yet another spider. Good news is this time, very little damage done. Not a big deal. Took care of him with no real drama. But the other thing that I think of that I can use for building blocks is going to be some bone blocks. So if you take bones, turn them into bone meal, you can turn the bone meal into bone blocks, and that's another building block that's not stone or cobblestone that we could use in a future construction. So I go back up to my mob grinder, and I'm just going to grind away here. I'm going to kill the mobs that drop. I'm going to grab everything that I can, because the other thing I could use is more gold. So far I'm not getting a lightning strike, even though I've gotten some rain. So I need to go ahead and collect as much gold as I can. I also want to collect as much copper as I can. I also want to collect as much iron as I can. And all of those things I can get from armor that drops here in my mob grinder. So I'm going to go ahead and just continue to grind away and smelt down all the armor that I find for the nuggets here. I've got plenty of gold nuggets at this point. I've got a whole bunch of copper nuggets. Shouldn't say plenty because I still need dozens more gold nuggets if I'm actually going to have enough to make the golden apples that I want. But there you see, I get my first iron nugget, which can be used to make iron ingots, which not something I need because I do have quite a few of those from zombies who have dropped them. As you can see here on my wall, I've got about a dozen of those, but never hurts to have more. So I'll go ahead and smelt down that iron armor and get the iron nuggets there. And you can see here now my cactus is starting to grow. So I'm going to go ahead and chop that down and let more cactus grow. Unfortunately, I only have 2 pieces of sand, so those 2 sand blocks are the only thing that the cactus will grow on, so I'm going to have to slowly grow my cactus here, just 2 blocks at a time, or 2 cactus at a time, I guess. And in the meantime, I'm going to have to protect my dirt from more Endermen. Once again, raining, so they run over to this, dirt platform that I've built, my passive mob spawning platform, if you will. And this Enderman disappears on me. I was messing with him, I was fighting him, and he's kind of gone into the building there. If you saw him for just a second, he was in the building. So got to get him out of the building. So I'm going to go ahead and shoot him with an arrow because that'll make him teleport. Then he teleports out, gets hit by the rain, teleports again, and boom, you can see he actually just died in the rain. So that was kind of cool. Took care of that Enderman without too much trouble. But you'll notice here, another Enderman has spawned inside of my building, or teleported in there more like it, and he's actually not coming out. So kind of confused here for a second because I'm like, I looked at him, I heard him scream, but I don't see him coming after me. So not really sure what to make of that. So I kind of, look around for a minute here and make my way slowly but surely over to where he is because I don't want him to jump out and start attacking me, and shoot him with an arrow, and he doesn't teleport, which is weird because if you shoot an Enderman with an arrow, they usually teleport, and instead I'm actually hitting him with the arrows, but they also don't seem to be doing any damage. So not sure what's going on with this glitchy Enderman. I'm just going to keep shooting him with arrows here until hopefully he, expires, but doesn't seem to be happening. So I'm, again, kind of glitchy. And that's when I realize he's actually in the boat with my zombie villager. So I want to get him out of that boat. I don't want him in the boat with the zombie villager. The zombie villager actually hurt me there as I was trying to get close enough to see what was going on. Not really a pair that I want together in a boat. And then, of course, another Enderman shows up. So having like a little bit of trouble with the Endermen right now. And I don't know why they've become so prevalent here in my Skyblock world. But the good news is, we've talked about it, I like Ender Pearls. They're a potential safety net should I fall off my world. So we're going to go ahead here and take out this Enderman that's just showed up, grab his Ender Pearl, and then we're going to go back and see what we can do about the Enderman that is currently in the boat with my zombie villager. Shooting him with an arrow just doesn't seem to be doing the trick. This Enderman is apparently impervious to arrows, which I guess that makes sense because Endermen, typically if you shoot him with an arrow, they would teleport. I don't think he can teleport because he's in the boat. So what I want to do here is, like I said, I just want to get him out of the boat. So he looks pretty funny there, kind of hanging back, on the boat. But I'll go ahead and hit him with my sword a few times, take him out, leave my zombie villager in peace. That's exactly what I want, is my zombie villager just hanging out there peacefully. No lightning once again. The rain stops, so we'll head back up to the mob grinder. Going to go ahead and grind away up here for a while because, at the end of the day, don't have a whole lot else to do when we don't have enough resources to build anything. Don't really need to build anything at all. Right now, what I'm looking for is I need a wandering trader because I need to get some pointed dripstone so I can try to multiply my lava. And speaking of the wandering trader, he finally shows up. I don't know how long it's been that I've been waiting for this guy to show up, but he does finally show up for me. So I'm going to make my way down from my mob grinder, and we're going to go see what he's got for me this time. We're hoping for some good both purchases and sales. I need him to buy things from me to get emeralds, and sure enough, he wants to buy the two things that I really don't want to sell. One, I can't sell. I don't have any cows, so I can't get a milk bucket. And he'll buy water buckets, but I don't really want to sell my water bucket. I only have one of those. The good news is I do have plenty of iron, as we talked about. So let's head back up here to the mob grinder, to my storage wall, and let's grab, we're going to need 3 iron ingots per bucket. I want to sell him 2 buckets, so we'll grab 6 of those ultimately, and we'll craft up 2 buckets here. There's 1 bucket, and we'll go ahead and grab the iron that we need to make the second bucket. 1, 2, and 3. And we'll craft up that second bucket. And like I said, not really dying to trade away buckets, but iron is something I can get more of, and emeralds, well, we've seen just how easy it is, or not easy, it is to get wandering traders. So when we get them, we're going to take the emeralds that we can get and make the most of it and use the resources that we can definitely get more of, like iron. So we'll trade that first bucket. That'll get us 2 emeralds. We'll trade that second bucket. That'll get us 2 more emeralds. And that gives us a total of 4, which unfortunately is 1 short of what we would have needed to get ourselves a spruce sapling or an acacia sapling or even a dark oak sapling. Although never would buy 1 dark oak sapling because you need 4 of those to grow a tree, but would definitely have taken the acacia or the spruce. Would have been nice to have a different wood type, but can't really do anything with the 4 emeralds that we have. So we'll go ahead, we'll take out this llama here, look for that lead and some leather, so maybe we can make up some bundles. Those would be nice to have. So we'll go ahead and take out this llama as well, and boom, just like that. We did get the leather that we'll need to make a bundle, so we'll head over here to our crafting table and craft up one bundle, and looks like we got a second leather, so we'll craft up the second bundle. Bundles are nice. They make it so you can carry more stuff around. As you can see, my inventory tends to be pretty loaded up, so all we need is that leather and a string, which we've got plenty of, and we now have a pair of bundles. In the meantime, noticed a flower growing on my cactus and went there to break the flower, but it broke. The flower got destroyed by the cactus, and didn't really realize that would happen. But cactuses with their prickles break things that fall on them. So I guess the way I should have done that was to break the bottom block of the cactus so that nothing would be there to fall on. And of course to move this cactus further away so that one cactus doesn't fall into the other, I guess is the best way to put it. But we'll make sure that we get these a little more spaced out, and hopefully we'll get more flowers from those cactuses in the future, because that's pretty much the only way we have to get pink dye at this point. Speaking of dye, we'll take care of that wandering trader because we don't need him anymore. And there we go, we did get another flower, so we'll take out, and I almost messed up again there by cutting above the bottom cactus, but we did get the flower that time, so we now have a source of pink dye here from our cactus. And we'll go ahead there, and you see it actually broke one of those pieces of cactus. So going forward, going to have to remember to always break the bottommost piece of cactus. But since we're mostly just waiting for more wandering traders and thunderstorms, we'll head back up to the mob grinder here. We will kill some more mobs, and sure enough, just like that, we've got a fresh piece of iron. So like I said, definitely worthwhile to trade those buckets for emeralds, because if a future wandering trader comes and we either can't sell him anything or he has things we want to buy, we want to have those emeralds. Going to add another chest here because I also have way too many bows, and I always like to hold on to bows because I use those as fuel for my furnace. And it feels like any time that I don't have a bow on hand is when I get a whole bunch of armor. And of course, anytime I don't have any armor is when I have way too many bows. So we're going to go ahead here. We're going to fill this chest up with just bows. We'll grab bows out of our bone and arrow chest and throw those into this top chest here. So we're going to pretty much have a full chest of just bows. So the good news is once we can actually make a anvil, we can combine some of the better bows. And for now, we'll always have bows on hand to smelt down the iron. In the meantime, I'm going to keep turning bones into bone meal, into bone blocks. Decided here that I'm going to go ahead and try to build a mega tree. What's a mega tree? Well, a mega tree is going to be dozens of trees built right next to each other. What that'll do is put their trunks really tight together and will give me another way to try to build something. Yes, it's wood, which I've built with before, but what I'm going to try to do here is build just like an epic tree house. So I've got to grow an epic tree in order to build an epic tree house. So you see I'm kind of breaking the leaves above the saplings and kind of got a view there of the tree as it's growing here. Kind of just going to make a huge, huge tree, and that'll let me have some space there to build a massive tree house. Again, I'm just trying to find ways to pass the time on my Skyblock Island because there's nothing really that I can do right now. I can't get to the Nether until I get a wandering trader to give me a pointed dripstone. Once I get that, I can work on multiplying my lava. Multiplying my lava will get me the obsidian I need to build a Nether portal to get to the Nether. Once I get to the Nether, I can look for a fortress, I can look for a bastion, I can get all sorts of new resources from all across the Nether, let me build some new cool different things. But until then, I'm just limited to what I have here on the island. Also, once I get my villagers, once I get my zombie villagers converted to regular villagers, I can start breeding them, of course achieving that first goal, but then I can also start trading with them. I can kind of build out like a villager trading hall, get all sorts of new gear like diamond tools, diamond armor, things that I can't get otherwise on the island. But as you saw, yet another rainstorm came with no lightning. Without the lightning, I can't get the zombified piglins. I can't start converting those zombie villagers. So right now, not even focusing on getting a second zombie villager. I've got one. Once I get the gold, I'll focus on getting the witch. Until then, if I see one, I'll take it, but not really going to kill myself to try to find one. It just doesn't make sense to do that. But this treehouse, or tree I should say, is coming along, looking pretty cool here, the epic tree. Gonna have to add some logs along the bottom where I keep removing those pieces of dirt just to kind of fill it in, but you know, looking good, getting big enough that I think I can build that tree house. In the meantime, gonna keep killing mobs, collecting up all of the bones that I'm gonna need to make that, whatever it is that I end up building out of the bone blocks. So I'll keep killing mobs here in my mob grinder, collecting all of the armor that they drop, smelting it down into gold, copper, and iron ingots, because this is the other way that I could theoretically get enough gold to actually change my zombie villager into a villager. It's not impossible to collect that gold from my mob grinder, just not the fastest way. Well, it might be the fastest way, just not the easiest way. It would be easier if I could get it from my zombified piglins, because those guys will drop me a lot more, but I need the lightning in order to turn them into zombified piglins. So back to the tree, back to the rainstorms that just keep coming. We definitely are seeing plenty of rain here on the island, but the rain does not seem to ever want to come with lightning. It's not a thunderstorm, it's just a rainstorm. So there's the tree. As you can see, it's grown kind of taller in one spot. And I'm looking over here, I've got that one tall tree. Other things that I can randomly grow that tall. So I'm trying to think through here, like, how can I make my tree taller? I don't want to wear, so that's cool if it was even taller than just like a lot of the iron armor, a lot of definitely. But here I am back at my mob grinder, just gonna take out some more mobs, everything here on my wall, just kind of show off, collect more armor, looking for more iron ingots, because of course I'm gonna need to make some cauldrons, every kind of armor except for diamond at this point. Diamond armor, pretty darn rare to find in the mob grinder, but at the same time, watching out for the Wandering Trader. And there he is. He's shown up once again. So getting lucky here. We've gotten 2 Wandering Traders, but getting a little unlucky again on the trades. He wants hay bales, which I have hay bales. I'll give him those. This guy also wants my buckets of waters, which, like I said before, not my favorite thing to have to give him, but I will give him those buckets of water, because again, I have the iron to make more, so I'll give up my buckets of water. But to do that, I need to find him. Where did he just go? The Wandering Trader was here just a second ago. I'm sure of it. I just looked at what he wanted to trade. I know he wanted hay bales. I know he wanted buckets of water, but where the heck did he go? Did he maybe fall off the edge? Did he like walk right off the back and walk over the edge? Or did he go somewhere else on the island? At this point, I'm completely baffled. I swear my Wandering Trader was right here just a second ago. I saw him climbing up onto the platform, and I thought for sure he'd be right here, but I don't see him. So going to kind of have to make my way around the island here to see where the heck did he go. Maybe he went in the house here and, wait a second, where's my zombie villager? Are guys just disappearing from my island? Do I have a disappearing mob problem here? Let's go ahead and roll back the tape a second. Well, it looks like when the Wandering Trader arrived, he let his llamas spit at my zombie villager. And I made a huge mistake here. I left these big open holes in the wall to where my zombie villager was hanging out, and I never actually thought about the fact that llamas would attack my zombie villager. And as you watch here, sure enough, they're going to spit at him until he completely expires. And I have now lost my zombie villager. So that at least explains where he went. It sucks. It's pretty annoying that the llamas there took out my zombie villager, but at least it's an explanation for where he went. But let's look and see. Where did that Wandering Trader go? Well, he went up to my mob grinder. And once again, this Wandering Trader just seems to have no love whatsoever for his llamas, because look what he does. He goes up on that platform, but just leaves his llamas hanging out over the, in this case, at least my island platform, not over the void like he did in an earlier episode, but definitely not taking any care for the safety of his llamas, as they are just dangling now precariously over a 64 block drop down to my main platform. Even worse, I don't think there's a way for him to get them down safely. Like I know the Wandering Trader apparently can go up a ladder. I don't know if he'll go down a ladder. He doesn't seem to have any interest in doing it, but I found him. That's the good news. We're going to trade him those 2 hay bales and get the emeralds for the hay bales. We're going to go ahead and trade him the buckets of water that we do have. We're going to check and see here. Once again, he doesn't have anything that I actually want to trade for. Some dye, a pumpkin, a nautilus shell. Nothing that I actually need here in my world. So we'll collect some iron off our wall. As you can see, we've found some more while we were mob grinding there. So it's not like we don't have the iron to build more buckets. So we will. We'll craft up some buckets. We'll fill them with water. We'll trade them with the Wandering Trader. Here you go. You see I ran down, grabbed the water, and boom, just like that, we've gotten 6 emeralds from this trader. We had 4 from the last one, so we're now up to 10 emeralds. So if another Wandering Trader were to bring some saplings, we could buy those. We'll definitely have the money to buy pointed dripstone. If we get some of the other things from a trader that we'd actually want to trade for, we could. But in the meantime, this trader is now officially useless to me and very useless to his llama friends because he's about to go down, and so are they. And you can see with the poof down there, that llama has expired. Let's watch that from another angle here. As I take out the trader, the llamas are down for the count, except that one of them didn't die on impact. He fell 64 blocks and somehow managed to survive. I think he just caught like the edge of the grass there. Not sure why that saved him. But the one did expire upon landing. The other one somehow survived that. I'll get both their leads. Gonna hope that I get some more leather from this guy so I can build myself another bundle. But looks like he did not drop me any leather. So another wandering trader comes and goes, and I got some emeralds out of it, but did not get the pointed dripstone that I need. Did not get any materials to help me do anything more at all here on my Skyblock Island. We get another storm, more rain, more Endermen, of course, but no lightning, which is what I'm really hoping for in these storms. But we got an Enderman. He stole some more dirt from me, so we're going to steal his dirt back and his Ender Pearl. We'll always take those Ender Pearls. We'll gladly take our dirt back that he stole from us. And we're going to go ahead here and back up to the mob grinder, where we're going to continue building out those bone blocks, because I've decided that I'm going to actually build myself a skeleton statue. I mean, it's not super creative or original, but I couldn't think of what else I could build with white blocks. And like I don't have a lot of different things to choose from, and even the skeleton's going to be tough because I'm not going to have a lot of different colors to put like gradient and pixelation. I was thinking maybe I can mix in some stone, possibly some hay blocks, maybe some different things just to give it a little bit of gradient to it. Like, an actual skeleton has different colors than just like a solid white. But the base of it, the main color here is going to be these bone blocks, which are just that kind of off-white, skeleton colored, if you will. So we'll use those to make the skeleton statue. I think my kids will enjoy seeing a, 20, 30, 40 block high skeleton statue here on my island. So we'll continue crafting up bone blocks to have them. As you can see here, I've got plenty of bones, plenty of bone meal, plenty of bone blocks, and it starts to rain again. Well, good rain is a good thing. So we'll hope here for another thunderstorm, but once again, just rain, no thunder. And while we're thinking about how we're going to build that skeleton, we're going to go ahead here and try to make our epic tree fort a little bit taller, our epic tree. And the way I'm doing that is I'm actually going up in the tree and planting some saplings and growing them. That way, when they grow, they're actually starting at a higher level, which makes them grow at a higher level. So you can see here, it's kind of making that tree like extra tall, which I think will help to make the epic tree fort a little more epic. But now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to build out that little new platform here on the side to add my skeleton statue. I need a space for it. I don't want to take up the space on my current island. So we're going to expand the island yet again, make it just a little bit bigger here. Not going to expand the whole thing, just going to make like an extra like 10 by 10 square here off the one edge. That should give me enough space to put the base of my skeleton. Once I have the base of them in place, then obviously just need to build upward from there. So I think this will pretty much give me what I need. So we'll go ahead, we'll finish off this little corner section. And then we're going to go ahead and bone meal some hay, some seeds to get hay, because like I said, I think hay blocks will help to give that coloration, the difference that we need here in the coloring of the statue. Since we don't want it to be all one color, we want it to have that kind of Minecraft pixelated look. So we're just going to bone meal and, oh, weird. I bone mealed my water and some like seagrass grew. Didn't give me anything when I broke it, but let's take a look at that in slow motion. I was going to bone meal my hay seeds, and I got some seagrass in the water. It's goofy. Did not know you could get that from bone mealing blocks in water. But anyway, I need some more cobblestone. Oh my gosh, I have made an epic mistake. I didn't realize that when I grew the seagrass in my water, it changed the flow of the water, and it made it so the water flowed into my lava, turning my lava into obsidian. That, ladies and gentlemen, ruins my world. I cannot achieve my goals without lava. I need lava to expand, to multiply, to duplicate, to turn into enough obsidian to build a nether portal. And with my lava there being turned into one piece of obsidian, that does it. This run is officially a failure. Despite all this progress, my epic tree, my mob grinder, my house, my zombie villager, all of it for nothing. All those pigs for nothing because I just messed up and I let my lava turn into obsidian. And once your lava turns into obsidian, there's no going back. There is no other way to get lava here in Skyblock. You start with 1. The only way to get more is to multiply that 1 with pointed dripstone. And I have not multiplied it, and instead, all that I've done is turned my one and only lava source into a block of useless obsidian. I cannot believe that just happened. And the only thing I can explain is that when I bone mealed that stone and grew the seagrass, it made it so that the water flow changed. I didn't realize it. I broke the block of cobblestone and the water flowed right into my lava. We've talked about this many times. When water flows into lava, you get obsidian. When lava flows into water, you get cobblestone. We messed it up, and here I am, 137 levels worth of time spent grinding mobs here, waiting for wandering traders, waiting for a thunderstorm, and all we've got is epic failure. But there's one last thing we can do with this world. Since the world is done, the challenge is done, we cannot achieve the goals that my children gave me. What we can do is give this guy, the Dadcrafter, an epic send-off as he's going to go on top of my mob grinder, another 64 blocks up in the air, and he is going to send himself off from this world in style with a 130-ish block drop down onto the roof of our zombie house, and he is dead, just like this run is dead. Let's take one last look at the world here, ladies and gentlemen. It was a beaut. We had a huge island. We had a massive mob grinder. We had a giant tree. We had hundreds of pigs. We had all sorts of cool loot. We had one of almost every type of armor. We had all sorts of iron, all sorts of other things that we had collected from our mob grinder. Our mob grinder was working wonderfully. Down on the main platform, we had all the pigs. We had the big house for zombie villagers and witches. We had the epic tree that I was going to turn into an epic tree fort. We had the platform for passive mobs to spawn on. We had everything that we needed. But unfortunately, at this point, we do not have the 1 block of lava that we need to expand into multiple blocks of lava. So we have no chance at turning this world into a successful run to achieve the goals my children gave me of getting to the nether and breeding villagers. We ran out on that goal because of that stupid block of obsidian. The good news is I am the Dadcrafter, and I won't be giving up here. I'm going to get right back after it with attempt number 6. I'll bring that to you here in the next video. In the meantime, if you like this series, please give it a like, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment. Love reading your comments, and I will catch you all on the next episode.